Now, the school district of Beloit putting new rules into place to ensure the safety of everyone at its sporting events.
And we have a look at your work week forecast coming up in a few moments, so stay tuned.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us on News 3 Now, and happy Sunday. I'm McKenna Alexander. Let's go ahead and take a look outside this morning. Julian, what's it looking like for the day ahead? Well,
we are looking pretty gorgeous to start off our Sunday morning. As we can see, a bit of that sunrise, even though there is a layer of cloud cover that is starting off for us. We're going to be seeing those clouds increase even more so as we continue throughout the rest of the day. A pretty similar day from Saturday. However, temperatures are much more milder. So we can see starting off right now is 20 degrees here in Madison, but it feels like it is 13 with those southerly winds at 5 miles per hour, keeping things on the chiller side as we continue throughout the rest of the morning. The temperatures are much more improved in comparison from 24 hours ago. So we can see as of right now, 25 degrees in Janesville, 20 in Platteville. Our friends into the far west with Prairie du Chien and Boscobel are still into the teens. However, we are still, once again, looking at improvements throughout all of southern Wisconsin. That increase in temperatures is even into the 20-plus range for much of us, even though for Prairie du Chien and Boscobel, it is just a little bit, not as significant as us into more central areas. But those wind speeds are not too bad, but they are still impacting us in terms of wind chills, bringing us into the teens between Platteville, Monroe, and Janesville, and here in Madison as well. So it is a little chillier as we're getting our morning started for us, but we are still not looking at nearly as cold temperatures as it has been over the past few days and the past couple of weeks. And in terms of our radar, we are looking at dry conditions as that small system of some snow has moved itself out of southern Wisconsin, getting our days started for us. But as we're planning out the rest of it, just know, once again, we're going to be on the milder side. Temperatures will be into those middle 30s for us. Cloud cover will be variable throughout the course of the day until we get into tonight. We're looking at close to some mostly cloudy conditions until we clear back out going into the overnight hours. We'll talk more about these details in a few moments. Tell us about you, McKenna.
All right, thanks, Julian. A student at Madison East High School has died after a skiing accident. In a letter to families, interim principal Mickey Smith says Alex West was taken off life support yesterday. Smith said the sophomore will be remembered for all of the genuine relationships he built. The school didn't have any information on funeral arrangements, but says student services staff will be on campus next week to help students who need counseling. 1 week after a deadly shooting outside Beloit Memorial High School, the school district of Beloit is putting new rules into place to ensure the safety of everyone at its sporting events. Tyler Muladin has more from Beloit.
Tonight's game against Sun Prairie is the first basketball game where school officials will be implementing those new safety protocols. Many in attendance support the changes, but they do have some reservations. Those safety protocols include an added police presence, with security periodically surveying the parking lot where the deadly shooting occurred. Additionally, tickets will no longer be sold at the door, but instead sold electronically hours before the game. Parents like LaFonda Richardson say they have mixed feelings about the protocols. Richardson says she's 100% on board with the added police presence and thinks the school should have done it sooner. The ticketing aspect, however, she's worried it'll negatively impact her daughter's team.
It definitely affects who's going to come and support our kids, and I think that's where a lot of the parents are feeling very resistant about the new safety protocols.
The school's athletic director says he understands those concerns, adding these are changes he'd rather not make. He says while many feel safe at the school with or without those protocols, for a lot of people, last weekend's shooting was a traumatic experience, and he wants to focus on making those people feel safe.
Well, I mean, there's obviously going to be mixed feelings about changes. It doesn't matter what the change may be. Our goal has always been to make sure we have a safe environment.
Now, these changes will be in place not just for basketball games, but all sporting events moving forward. In Beloit, Tahlim Haddin, News 3 Now.
Beloit police say they're actively following up on leads connected to last Saturday's shooting. The department set up a hotline for tips after the city's police chief said more than 30 people who witnessed the shooting wouldn't come forward with information. We're also following develops this morning from near Milwaukee, where 3 people, including a suspect, are dead after a shooting. This happened at Park Plaza Court Apartments in Brown Deer, which is just north of the city. Officers were called to the building around 10 o'clock last night. When they got there, police say a man shot at them from a balcony. A squad car was hit, but no officers or children were hurt. Police say they did not return fire. Officers believe the 26-year-old suspect shot himself. He later died at a hospital. The 2 other victims were a 31-year-old man and 23-year-old woman. One other person was hurt.
While no officers from our agency or the North Shore agencies or any other agency fired their weapon, we brought the Milwaukee area investigative team in to help us conduct it just because of the magnitude of the crime scene.
As for the people who live in the apartment complex, police say some residents are sheltering in place, but they have been allowed to leave. Residents who were not home Saturday morning may not be able to return until later today while police investigate. Looking across the country now, 8 people were shot in an apparent murder-suicide in Texas on Saturday. 5 people were killed and 3 critically wounded at 2 different crime scenes. The suspect, Kevin Malazzo, is believed to have killed his mother and stepfather in Corsicana Saturday morning. Then police say he drove to Frost, where he shot and killed his 21-year-old son and a 4-year-old boy. Police tracked the 41-year-old Malazzo through his vehicle GPS and were able to turn off the engine remotely. As they approached his vehicle, they found him critically injured from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Malazzo died later at the hospital. The identities and conditions of the 3 surviving victims have not been released. A Colorado man facing federal kidnapping charges for a scheme to abduct billionaire Michael Bloomberg's daughters. Joseph Beecher allegedly rammed his truck through the gate of Bloomberg's Colorado ranch on Wednesday. According to his arrest warrant, Beecher asked a ranch employee where the former New York mayor's daughters were. When he found they were not on the ranch property, he allegedly kidnapped the ranch employee instead. The warrant says Beecher then took the employee across state lines to a motel in Cheyenne, Wyoming. He told his captive he wanted to create, quote, an international scene, unquote. Authorities were able to capture the suspect through a tracking app on the ranch employee's phone, who was not injured. Beecher is due to have his first court appearance on Tuesday. Still ahead, another prominent state lawmaker is stepping down. News 3 Now sat down with Senate Minority Leader Janet Beloit on the regrets and triumphs she's had along the way. And you're taking a live look over the Capitol. Julian's checking your forecast just ahead.
We protect more than the car you drive. We protect the dreams that drive you. The It's Not Where We Visit, but Who We Visit policy from American Family Insurance.
End of the road trip.
Protect yourself on the road with a travel peace of mind package, included when you enroll in the Know Your Drive program. Get a quote or find an agent at amfam.com.
Surgenian's 92-year history means you pay $92 for installation no matter how many rooms you carpet. Get carpet and pad in your old carpet removed and recycled. Our competitors can't match it. Ask about 18-month financing. Local, sustainable Surgenians.
Celebrate a better night's sleep and save during the President's Day Super Sale at Denver Mattress. Right now, save $100 on every $1,000 you spend and watch the savings add up. Or save up to $500 on select Tempur-Pedic mattress sets and get a $300 gift. Save up to $200 on our Doctor's Choice lineup. Or check out the Summit Firm for only $249.99. Plus, 7 years no interest financing and free shipping. The President's Day Super Sale on now at Denver Mattress.
Announcing Madison Magazine's Best of Madison 2022. Nominate your favorites online, including Buck and Honey's, for the Best of Madison in 5 food and drink categories. Nominate Buck and Honey's today at madisonmagazine.com.
Dear Jack Frost, people say you've got ice in your veins. But underneath it all, you're just a big old softie. Go ahead, try to nip at our toes. Thanks to our available Remote Connect, we'll be toasty and warm and ready to go. Warm wishes, Toyota Cars.
Every new Toyota comes with Toyota Care, a 2-year or 25,000-mile maintenance plan and roadside assistance. Find yours at toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Deep in credit card debt? Did you know Credit Associates can help you reduce that debt? It's not nearly as complicated as you think. Let me show you what I mean. First, there's the total amount of credit card debt you owe. Whoa! We can reduce that by almost half. Second, how about those decades you'll be in debt? We reduce that down to as little as 24 to 36 months, giving you up to 20 debt-free years back. Lastly, how about the endless hours of stress and anxiety from being in debt? We can help reduce that too. It's easy to get started. Call now to see how Credit Associates can reduce your debt and save you thousands. The information is free and there's no risk to call. 1-800-949-3849. Call Credit Associates now to start living better, debt-free. 1-800-949-3849.
Now, as we're getting our Sunday morning started for us, we are looking at a gorgeous sunrise, even though we are still seeing a bit of cloud cover to start off our Sunday morning. And that's going to be pretty much, once again, the theme for us throughout the rest of our weekend is that we will be seeing that cloud cover pretty much sticking around for us throughout the course of our Sunday. Now, our surface temperatures are 20 degrees, much better than it was just on our Saturday. However, it still feels like 13 degrees as we are having those southerly winds, which are increasing our surface temperatures, still bringing a bit of that winter's bite as we continue throughout the rest of our morning. Now, temperatures around southern Wisconsin, 25 in Janesville with 20 in Platteville, the teens in southern Wisconsin. We are still seeing over towards Prairie du Chien and Bosqueville as we're into the upper teens and lower teens for those areas. But for the most part, we are all seeing increases in temperatures throughout this morning over the last 24 hours. Just goes to show you just how cold it was just about 24 hours ago as we started off our Saturday morning. But our Sunday morning, even though wind chills are hanging into the teens, still not nearly as bad as it has been over the past couple of days, and especially in the past couple of weeks. Now, as we take a look at our radar, getting things rolling for us, it is quiet around Dane County, but we did have some snow. A squall line that moved itself out, but we are still looking at the potential of seeing some more snow as we get into the later part of today. We'll get to that in just a moment, but as we're planning out the rest of today, just know it's going to be on the cloudier side, but temperatures will be much milder as we're seeing those 30s coming in, heading into our afternoon and into our early evening hours. Now, in terms of the cloud cover, once again, it's going to be onto the varying side throughout the course of the day, especially as we get into the afternoon, but we could be seeing, once again, some of that snow starting to roll its way in as we get into the later part of this evening, especially areas of southern Dane County going into Rock County. We could be seeing a bit of some light snowfall rolling its way in, but again, it's going to be on to the lighter side and even some flurries, so we're not looking at too much in terms of impacts, especially as we get into the overnight hours of Monday morning. Going to be having a chilly start, but pretty quiet once again as we get our Monday rolling for us. In terms, once again, of that snow, we're not looking at it to really accumulate much. If anything, might see a little bit of a dusting or even trace amounts. But for the next few days, we are going to see temperatures drop heading into Monday, but once again, we're ridging as we're seeing warmer temperatures coming back in as we head into our Tuesday, and then as we go into Thursday and Friday, once again, we are looking at temperatures to be back into more milder conditions for us. So next week's looking to shape up pretty good for us, but we are also looking at the potential of seeing some snow. This is going to be in the middle part of next week. Wednesday could be seeing some flurries roll in for us, but that's one thing we're going to be keeping an eye on is from Wednesday into Friday of next week is some snow chances to roll in. And until then, we are looking at some evening snow shower potentials around southern Wisconsin. And then as we go into today, Tuesday and Wednesday, we're back to more mild temperatures. And then for snow chances again of late next week is what we're going to be keeping our eye on. Here's another look at another run between Wednesday into Friday of next week where we're going to be seeing a potential of a system starting to move its way in from Canada that could be bringing in some snowfall for us from Friday into our late Saturday. Now, again, these are just potentials of some late flurries or even some light snowfall for us. But in terms of temperatures, folks, these 30s is something that we are definitely happy about to see in our 10-day forecast, especially after all those single digits below zeros. I am so happy. This is like my Super Bowl, seeing some temperatures into the 30s now.
So I just realized just now whenever you said 30s, I think all weekend long, you know, the number of times I've seen this 10-day forecast, I've been looking at the lows. I didn't even look at the highs till now. That's amazing.
It is actually
I was looking at the 27, thinking
right?
That's awesome.
It's
but 36?
a sight to see. I'm so excited for it now.
Time to break out the shorts, Julian.
You already know.
All right, moving on to other things. President Joe Biden's pick to lead the U.S. Food and Drug Administration has found himself in a tough confirmation battle. Dr. Rob Califf, a longtime cardiologist, was last confirmed to run the agency during President Obama's final year in office. But it's been challenging for him to find anywhere near the same level of support from senators this time around. Many Democrats have said they won't back his confirmation, calling for fresh leadership at the FDA. He's been criticized for his ties to the pharmaceutical industry in the past. Biden announced in November that he was selecting Califf to return as the agency's head following a frustrating months-long search to find a nominee who the White House thought could win Senate confirmation. It's becoming a familiar headline lately. Another prominent state lawmaker is stepping down. Senate Minority Leader Janet Bewley has announced she won't run for re-election this fall. We sat down with her this week to talk about what's next for Democrats at the Capitol. She's been the Senate Minority Leader for basically the entire pandemic since April of 2020, and she's served in the Senate since 2015. We did ask her, what advice does she have for Democrats if they lose Governor Evers this fall?
You just keep going. You know, history is written by people who don't give up. The stories of defeat and then success, you know, the people at the barricades, the conditions under which George Washington continued to fight in the American Revolution.
Beloit joins other major leaders in both parties who are either leaving or stepping down from leadership roles. This morning on For the Record, join Naomi Coles for her entire conversation with Beloit and the regrets and triumphs she had along the way. Across the pond now, Queen Elizabeth is using a historic milestone to redefine the future of the British monarchy. Today marks the Queen's Platinum Jubilee. That's when she marks 70 years on the throne. The 95-year-old will become the first British monarch to celebrate the milestone. To mark the occasion, she's calling for the Duchess of Cornwall to be known as Queen Camilla when Charles becomes king. Coming up, ever wonder what happens to old satellites that are still orbiting? A look into that process coming up on News 3 Now this morning.
Trust the First Warn Weather Team for your most accurate forecast.
Sunroom savings season is here. Four Seasons has great solutions to beat the backyard blues and save 20 to 30%. Everything from decks and pergolas to screen rooms, porch conversions, patio rooms, sunrooms, and our new life room with retractable screens are on sale now. Let CoolView show you how to tame your backyard and improve your lifestyle. Call for a free backyard survey, design, and quote.
Get a new view from CoolView.
My daughter has type 2 diabetes, and lately I've seen this change in her.
Once weekly Trulicity is proven to help lower A1C. It lowers blood sugar from the first dose, and you could lose up to 10 pounds. Trulicity is for type 2 diabetes. It isn't for people with type 1 diabetes. It's not approved for use in children. Don't take Trulicity if you're allergic to it. You or your family have medullary thyroid cancer or have multiple endocrine neoplasia syndrome type 2. Stop Trulicity and call your doctor right away if you have an allergic reaction, a lump or swelling in your neck, severe stomach pain, changes in vision, or diabetic retinopathy. Serious side effects may include pancreatitis. Taking Trulicity with sulfonylurea or insulin raises low blood sugar risk. Side effects include nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea, which can lead to dehydration and may worsen kidney problems. Ask your doctor about once weekly Trulicity.
How to change the way you pizza. Step 1, grab a delicious Papa Murphy's pizza. Step 2, bake. Step 3, chow down on the deliciousness. Order the fan favorite cowboy pizza right now at papamurphys.com.
Taking a chance. Family. Like birds of a feather. Family. Kick off your shoes and dance. Hey.
Some traditions just keep getting better and better. Ford F-Series, the official truck of the NFL, and America's best-selling trucks now for the 45th year in a row.
You're a hard worker. Provide for your family. Do good things in the community. Help out your neighbors. You've been there for so many others. Now, we're here for you. Your local Wisconsin energy and emergency assistance providers are working together to keep you safely in your home and your heat and power on. Apply now for a hand up.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
And we're going to be planning out our day for Sunday as temperatures are going to be back to milder conditions. 30s are going to be in store for us. Even though cloudy conditions are on tap, we're going to be seeing that really varying throughout the course of the day. But on top of that, we are going to be looking at areas, especially around Dane County, to be seeing some potential light snow or even flurries as we get into the evening hours, especially around dinner time. Could be impacting Dane County, Rock County, and Greene. But as we clear out getting into tonight, we are expecting for more colder conditions heading into our Monday morning, and temperatures themselves will be dropping into those lower 20s as we get into our Monday. So prepare for another cold start to our work week, but just not as bad as before. But we are still just looking at trace amounts of snow. Back to you, McKenna.
All right, thanks, Julian. Space, it's the final frontier for adventure and possibly high-tech recycling. Barry Peterson takes a look at some of the groundwork that's being done to capitalize on thousands of old orbiting satellites.
Here's how it works now. You build things like satellites on Earth and spend millions launching them into orbit. But that's about to change. Recycling is headed for the stars. Dr. Angel Abud-Madrid is director of the Center for Space Resources at the Colorado School of Mines.
Now you can use that to create probably parts of satellites, entire structures in space. You can use it as a propellant.
Today, when satellites run out of fuel, they become just more space debris. Debris that can hit other space objects. With moving gravity, it wiped out an entire space station. But behind this garage door in Boulder, Colorado, Gary Kalnin and Joe Pawelski of Cislunar are using electricity to melt aluminum into these cylinders, a process that needs no oxygen.
Now you can see this is starting to feed down into the rod, and you'll see it. If you look over there, you can see it start to melt.
Their research is funded in part by NASA.
There we go.
Because they will get the aluminum to melt in space by sending their equipment into space. Some companies are already scrambling to use that aluminum as a fuel for satellites. OrbitFab calls it gas stations in space. Others, like Astroscale, are testing ways to collect dead satellites. Recycled debris could mean building what's needed for space in space, even making the structures to colonize the moon and build spaceships to Mars.
If you're going to have humans on the moon, you have oxygen. It's on the rocks. Get it from there. You got water. Water they use for drinking. Water they can split it into hydrogen and oxygen. If you need to build anything, use the dust and the rocks that are there.
Back in that Colorado garage, Gary Kalnin has the kind of boldness that has powered mankind on every journey that ever mattered.
I don't want to be disparaging here, but I have to remind you that we're sitting in a garage in Colorado, and this is your operation.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to imagine that you're going to go from here to someday building a rocket ship on the moon that takes us into the galaxy.
Sure.
But you believe that?
Absolutely.
Barry Peterson, CBS News, Boulder, Colorado.
There's a half hour of news still ahead here on News 3 This Morning Sunday. Next, we're running through the morning's top stories, including the latest on this pandemic and why health officials are feeling optimistic.
Living with metastatic breast cancer means being relentless because every day matters. And having more of them is possible with Verzenio, the only one of its kind proven to help you live significantly longer when taken with fulvestrant, regardless of menopause status.
Verzenio plus fulvestrant is for HR-positive, HER2-negative metastatic breast cancer that has progressed after hormone therapy. Diarrhea is common, may be severe, or cause dehydration or infection. At the first sign, call your doctor, start an antidiarrheal, and drink fluids. Before taking Verzenio, tell your doctor about any fever, chills, or other signs of infection. Verzenio may cause low white blood cell counts, which may cause serious infection that can lead to death. Life-threatening lung inflammation can occur. Tell your doctor about any new or worsening trouble breathing, cough, or chest pain. Serious liver problems can happen. Symptoms include fatigue, appetite loss, stomach pain, and bleeding or bruising. Blood clots that can lead to death have occurred. Tell your doctor if you have pain or swelling in your arms or legs, shortness of breath, chest pain, and rapid breathing or heart rate, or if you are nursing, pregnant, or plan to be.
Every day matters, and I want more of them.
Ask your doctor about everyday Verzenio.
At Pick and Save, we believe fresh is all about standards. That's why we do up to a 27-point inspection on our produce. Like for oranges, we check for color and scarring and more, keeping only the best of the best on our shelves. Because when it comes to fresh for everyone, we believe the juice is worth the squeeze. Pick and Save. Fresh for everyone.
Welcome back to Ho Chunk Gaming Madison, where the action's really heating up.
Yeah, Jerry, let's go down to Tina and see what's happening.
Thanks, guys. We're here with Cheryl and Greg, and they just won the huge jackpot. What are you guys going to do with all that cash?
We're going to go to Fiji.
See my mom. My mom. They're going to visit Mom. Maybe they'll take her on vacation.
Oh, it looks like a great day for Cheryl and Greg.
Hey, I wish I could join them.
Whether you have a design emergency or you just want to shop the best furniture showroom in town, you need Dwellings, Madison's best kept secret for design and furniture. Shop our fabulous showroom, Hard Rock Road, Fitchburg.
U.S. ad spending is set to surpass $300 billion by 2022, and the greater Madison area is poised for major growth. So now would be a great time to consider a career in multimedia sales and to join our team selling our top-rated media and digital solutions. Work for a company that offers training, autonomy, flexibility, income growth, upward mobility, and work-life balance with a competitive wage. If you have a passion to drive results for local businesses, then visit morganmurphymedia.com right now to apply.
Right now, a new study shows just how effective masks are against COVID-19.
And we are entering a milder trend. We'll take a look at this in more detail coming up in a few moments.
Good morning, everyone. 7:27 now. Thanks for joining us on News 3 Now, and happy Sunday. I'm McKenna Alexander. All right, let's go ahead and send over to you, Julian. Tell me about my day.
Well, your day, oh my gosh, you're just miserable this morning. She's been bullying me all morning, folks, but as we're getting things rolling, we are actually going to plan out your day. Temperatures are going to be much milder. We're entering a mild trend to end our weekend, as temperatures will be into the middle 30s for us, something that we haven't seen much at all in the past month. But we are going to be seeing varying cloud cover throughout the course of the day, and potentially could even see a small burst of some snow into southern Wisconsin, especially as we get into around the dinner time hour. So around 6:30, could be seeing impacts around Dane County for us of some light snowfall and even some flurries that will clear out pretty quickly. It's going to be a brief little hit, and as we go into tonight, we're looking for temperatures to go back to being cold and even clearing as we head into our Monday. Monday's temperatures will be back into those 20s and upper teens once again, but just a look, once again, we are going to be seeing that snowfall really not going to be much or even accumulating too much for us. But after tomorrow, we will see that trend back into more milder conditions once again, going into our Tuesday and Wednesday of milder conditions. It's one thing we're going to keep an eye on because we are looking at a small system that could be bringing in some snowfall middle part of the week or even late part of next week as well. We'll talk more in detail about this in a few moments. Until then, let's toss back to McKenna.
All right, thanks, Julian. Confusion over the efficacy of masks has been an issue since the beginning of the pandemic. For example, early on, the U.S. Surgeon General had to delete a tweet in which he said masks weren't effective for the general public. And eventually, it became clear masks do work to some degree, but that cloth and surgical masks aren't very effective. Those suggestions are supported by a new study from the California Department of Public Health. It found that people who said they wore N95 respirators indoors were about 80% less likely to test positive for COVID than those who never wore masks inside. Those who said they wore surgical masks indoors were roughly 60% less likely to test positive than those who didn't wear masks. In all, the study found that consistently wearing a mask indoors cuts the odds in half for testing positive for COVID-19. The researchers admitted the study had significant limitations. The study was done before the Omicron variant, so mask efficacy for Omicron isn't known. It also didn't take into account that testing negative may have been because of protective behaviors that had nothing to do with masking. For example, social distancing. More than 900,000 Americans have now died from COVID complications since the start of the pandemic. But with new cases and deaths trending down, there's new hope that this COVID surge may be the last. CBS News' Michael George has more.
It took less than 2 months for COVID-19 related deaths in the U.S. to jump from 800,000 to 900,000. That's more lives lost than the number of people living in several U.S. cities like San Francisco or Indianapolis. President Biden on Friday worked to put the situation in perspective.
The physical and emotional weight of the pandemic has been incredibly difficult to bear for so many people. But here's the good news. We have the tools to save lives and to keep businesses open and keep schools open, keep workers on the job.
And now the Omicron variant is showing signs of receding, with new daily cases dropping by nearly 500,000 since mid-January. And according to Johns Hopkins University, every state is seeing a decline in new daily case numbers. That comes as a relief after the highly contagious variant also took a toll on the youngest Americans.
For the last several months, while Omicron has been surging, children 0 to 4 years of age have been hospitalized at 3 times the rate of children between 5 and 17 years of age, and at a rate equivalent to adults.
This week, Pfizer asked the FDA to grant emergency use authorization for 2 doses of its COVID vaccine for children under 5. Meanwhile, the drug maker is researching whether 3 doses would be more effective for that age group. Michael George, CBS News, New York.
Right now, new COVID-19 cases in Wisconsin are continuing to trend downward for the first time in 2022. DHS data shows Friday's 7-day average was 4,100 cases. 16% of tests still coming back positive, and all 72 counties are still at critically high levels of COVID activity. Since the start of the pandemic, the average annual cost of childcare is up 41%. That's according to a new study by Lending Tree. Impacting more than just young parents, CBS's Mark Strassman shows us who else is paying the price.
Can you show everyone how you wash your hands?
For Cassandra D'Alessandro, little Gavin's affection softens the squeeze of a broken system. The cost of daycare in America.
Bye-bye.
At one point, taking almost half this architect's after-tax income.
I felt like I should scream, cry, and vomit all at the same time. You know, you have this repetitive question, is it worth it?
Except for Washington, D.C., Massachusetts has America's most expensive childcare. For a 4-year-old, that cost averages $15,000 a year. An infant, almost $21,000. By government standards, only 5% of Massachusetts families can afford infant care.
It doesn't work for anybody. Nobody wins.
Yeah.
Everyone suffers.
Yeah.
Literally everybody. I'm glad you're closed.
Lauren Cook runs the Ellis Early Learning Center, a Boston institution since 1885. This nationally accredited nonprofit looks after 270 kids. Tuition as high as $30,000. But without donations, the center would close.
We lose money virtually on every child we serve.
These parents really should be paying even more than they are.
Which is impossible. I mean, we would break families.
For years, advocates have pleaded for government to invest in early learning, including free childcare for 3- and 4-year-olds.
We don't look at parents and ask them how they're going to afford the cost of their education for their 8-year-old. Why do we ask them why they should bear the full responsibility for the cost of their 2-year-old?
At Ellis, 2/3 of the kids have subsidized tuition based on lower family incomes. Without that help, Alethea Graham's daycare for 3-year-old Ariel would cost more than her rent.
When we're putting that much money into daycare, then what am I going to have saved up? How am I going to afford a house one day? Wash your hands.
And yet, Alethea Graham knows she's lucky to have it. Ellis has a waiting list more than double its enrollment. Mark Strassman, CBS News, Boston.
Despite the need for trained workers, enrollment at community colleges is down in the U.S. Pandemic-related declines in enrollment, particularly in hands-on skilled trade courses, have impacted underfunded schools. From the fall of 2019 to the fall of 2021, enrollment at public 2-year schools fell 14.8%. By comparison, undergraduate enrollment declined by just 4% at public 4-year institutions. That's according to National Student Clearinghouse Research Center data. While COVID relief money has helped financially strapped community colleges, administrators say those one-time funds are depleting. Instructors say hands-on courses have also suffered because they couldn't meet in person. Still ahead, online scams have been on the rise during the pandemic. How to keep yourself safe when we return.
After 30 years of making quality furniture affordable and with tons of in-stock items, I'm asking more Bobs to help, like this Bob, Rob Schneider.
This cottage chic sectional will beautify any home.
Say you live in a bunker.
Huh? It comes in many versatile setups.
Say your house is haunted.
A layer of Bobopedic memory foam provides added comfort.
Say you're raised by wolves.
With Bob's discount, you don't have to hunt for a good price.
Okay, my parents are paying.
Hey, hi guys.
Shop what's in stock, in store, or at mybobs.com.
And now, most admired alum.
Get up there.
This is so embarrassing.
No way it's me.
You know her. You love her.
Ruh-roh.
What are you doing here?
It's Anna Gomez! Who? Our first gagillionaire. With AT&T Fiber, Anna's got the fastest internet with hyper-gig speed.
I didn't know you went to this school. We have a lot in common.
Live like a gagillionaire with AT&T Fiber. Now with speeds up to 5 gigs. Limited availability.
American Family Insurance filmed a commercial featuring real dads and their kids. No scripts, just family. Because nothing speaks louder than that.
Prayers, prayers, prayers. Time to say our prayers. Dio, Dio, Dio. Are you ready to say your prayers? Yes or no?
Yes.
Oh, wow. Guess what? You get 2 kisses.
Uh-oh.
breathe it in.
Water is one of nature's most beautiful and life-sustaining resources. At no fault of their own, many Wisconsin utility customers are facing a shutoff to their water service. This leaves them without the one life-giving resource we all take for granted. And those hardest hit are on fixed incomes, juggling multiple temporary jobs, or those who lost full-time jobs in sectors hardest hit by the pandemic. If someone you care about needs a hand up, your local Wisconsin energy and emergency rental assistance providers are working together to keep you safely in your home and your water, heat, and power on. If you are in danger of losing your water service, call 833-H2O-WISC, 833-426-9472. You may not ask for it, but we're here to help.
Announcing Madison Magazine's Best of Madison 2022. Nominate your favorites online, including Beef Butter Barbecue for Best Barbecue and Best Curbside Pickup and Takeout. Nominate Beef Butter Barbecue today at madisonmagazine.com.
Kicking things off this morning, well, we are starting to see a bit more of that sun, but still, cloudy conditions will continue throughout the course of the day. Here's a look at our winter outdoor activities for today, however. Temperatures will be back to mild as we're going to head around noon. 30 degrees will be welcoming us and sticking around throughout the course of the afternoon and evening hours. But as we take a look, here's our 3 things we're going to need to know for the days ahead. We may see some snow showers start to roll in for some areas. It's going to be very isolated, but then milder temperatures for today, Tuesday, and Wednesday of next week, with snow chances potentially late into the week as well. It's one thing we're going to be keeping an eye on as we move in throughout the course of the next few days, because this system is looking to be bringing a bit of some snow showers or even some flurries to areas of southern Wisconsin. We'll have more detailed look at this coming up in a few moments. Until then, back to you, McKenna.
All right, thanks, Julian. Young adults on social media are increasingly becoming the targets of hackers. According to federal data, cryptocurrency scams have skyrocketed during this pandemic. But as Laura Podesta reports, there are steps you can take to protect yourself.
24-year-old Mary Peplin says she thought she was messaging a friend from high school on Instagram. She shared her phone number and clicked on a link, but she says it turned out to be a scam.
I started getting messages and phone calls from friends and family asking me, "Hey Mary, are you on your Instagram right now?" asking me for money. I think I had a panic attack. I was mortified. I was crying, I was upset, I did not know what to do.
Cryptocurrency scams have skyrocketed during the pandemic. The Federal Trade Commission estimates that since October 2020, people ages 20 to 49 were 5 times more likely to lose money in these online investment scams.
You want to trust your gut. If you have a bad feeling about someone you're talking to on the internet, you want to listen to those instincts.
Consumer Reports technology writer Thomas Germain says other steps you can take include not responding if it's someone you don't know. Check before you click on a link and limit Venmo or Cash App payments to friends only. Peplin called her experience traumatizing.
I was being treated differently by my peers because they thought, I'm either a scammer or I was dumb enough to get hacked.
She wants Instagram to do more to protect users like her. Instagram provided a statement that reads in part, "We have sophisticated measures in place to stop bad actors in their tracks before they gain access to accounts, as well as measures to help people recover their accounts." The statement went on to say, "We know we can do more here, and we're working hard in both these areas to stop bad actors before they cause harm." Laura Podesta, CBS News, New York.
Tech experts also suggest using 2-factor authentication to access your accounts and don't reuse your passwords. Peloton might be rolling toward a new era. There are reports outsiders may be interested in taking over the fitness company. According to the Wall Street Journal, Amazon has made contact with Peloton about a possible deal. Meanwhile, the Financial Times reports Nike also considering a potential bid. There's been no official comment from Peloton, Nike, or Amazon about the situation. The original Peloton bike sells for more than $1,700, including shipping. You see QR codes in businesses and online. It's an easy way to get information or discount. But security experts say think twice before scanning one with your smart device. Jesse Jones explains why.
QR codes are those black and white boxes you shoot, your phone interprets, and then everything from menus to deals pops right up on your device via the internet. Companies share them on social media and on signs and flyers.
But they're everywhere.
Yeah, and they're cool technology, and that means they're subject to abuse, like all the cool technologies, right?
Tim Helming, a computer security expert from the company Domain Tools, says scammers are now in the game, turning those codes into your misery.
It could be that they are making a fraudulent payment. It could be that they are downloading malware onto your phone.
The other issue at play is that a person can check a web address to see if it's legit. A QR code doesn't give consumers that chance.
You have fewer ways to validate what it is that you're about to get to than you do if it's an actual link.
The Better Business Bureau scam tracker shows one person lost $65,000 in a con that used QR codes. And they're easy to get. I found a number of sites that offer QR codes for free. Just enter the website you want the code to send people to, and you're good to go. So Tim says consumers need to consider the source before pointing and clicking.
If I saw a QR code that was slapped up on a telephone pole or a side of a building or something like that, I don't care how tempting the offer sounds, I am running away from that thing.
Scammers often send QR codes and emails that appear to be from legitimate companies, so experts say don't use it unless you can verify the source. There are scanner apps available that include extra security, which can help make sure the code you are seeing is the real deal. Jesse Jones, CBS News.
Still ahead, a group of senior citizens in Florida says someone changed their political party affiliation without them knowing. After taking a live look over the Capitol, Julian's checking your forecast just ahead.
Look Who's 3 is sponsored by Three Bears Resort, Indoor Water Park and Conference Center in Warrens, Wisconsin.
Pick and Save delivery is always fresh because we check our produce at every stop on its journey to you. We're fresh every day, so shop anyway. Pick and Save, fresh for everyone.
We love our new home. Lots of windows, great light.
But the birds, they're back.
Yes, I hear them.
Uh-oh. Why are these birds so angry?
At least Geico makes bundling our home and car insurance easy.
We save a lot.
I'm going.
Hurry!
I know.
For bundling made easy, go to geico.com. If your credit card debt is out of control, if you're in over your head in monthly payments, there's a secret the credit card companies don't want you to know. If you have more than $10,000 in credit card debt, you have the right to let us settle that debt for a fraction of what you owe. That's bad news for the credit card companies, but it's great news for you. We're Credit Associates, and we're offering you free information on how to completely resolve your credit card debt with a monthly payment you can afford. To see how much you could save, call now. 1-800-914-6947. Don't declare bankruptcy. Don't consolidate. Give us 10 minutes and we could save you thousands. After all, we depend on your success and offer a guarantee so there's no risk to call. Credit Associates. Live better, debt-free. We'll even show you how to use your stimulus money to jumpstart our services and get you debt-free faster than you ever thought possible. Call Credit Associates now to see how much you could save for free. Call 1-800-914-6947.
Dear Winter, I'm coming. My squad of 16 vehicles with all-wheel drive and four-wheel drive is ready to take you on. Safety's the name of my game. So you better bundle up. Toyota.
Right now, you can get 2.49% APR for 60 months on Toyota's most popular 2022 models. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
At Pick and Save, you can get personalized coupons on top of weekly sales for prices that are lower than low on food that's fresher than fresh. Pick and Save, fresh for everyone.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
As we're getting our Sunday morning rolling for us, well, we have a stunner of a sunrise here in Madison. As we're getting our morning rolling, temperatures are also so much better than they were yesterday. 20 degrees as of right now on the surface. However, it does feel like it is 13 degrees from the southerly winds, about 5 miles per hour. Still not too bad. Light winds, but still they are factoring just enough to be bringing a little bit of that chill as we continue throughout the rest of our morning. However, temperatures in southern Wisconsin are much better than they were yesterday, as I am going to continue to harp. 25 degrees in Janesville with 21 in Platteville. However, over towards Boscoville, 11 degrees, one of the colder spots as we're starting off our Sunday morning. But here is a look at how those temperatures have increased over the last 24 hours. Most of us have seen the gains of 20 degrees or more increase in temperatures over the last 24 hours. So that just goes to show you it's pretty good as we're getting our Sunday morning rolling for us. Wind chills, however, of course, are still just a factor for most of us, as we are still seeing those light winds around southern Wisconsin. So we are still feeling like it is in the teens. However, over into the southern eastern regions of southern Wisconsin, we were seeing a burst of a squall line of some snow, but that is cleared out for us. But we are seeing just a bit north some small remnants of some snowfall that's looking to roll in for us as we continue throughout the rest of our morning. But for planning out the rest of today, just know cloud cover is really going to be the biggest story for us, but we could be seeing some snowfall coming into the later part of this evening, which we'll get to in just a moment. Temperatures will stick into the middle 30s for us, much better. Once again, milder conditions are going to be sticking around for our Sunday. As we can see, warmer temperatures going into around the noon hour. But around 5 p.m., we're still going to be seeing some small bursts of some light snowfall and even some flurries that will sweep across southern Wisconsin. So in Dane County, Rock and Greene County, could be seeing some light snow or even some flurries as we get into around the dinner time hours. But that's going to be clearing up as we go into tonight. And as we transition into our Monday morning, just know temperatures are going to be on the colder side, and we're going to be looking at a colder day in general heading into our Monday. But in terms of snow, not looking for much in terms of accumulations, trace amounts, maybe even a dusting for some areas. But then we're going to be seeing warmer temperatures coming back for Tuesday and Wednesday, a bit more colder temperatures for the back end of next week. But we're going back to seasonably cold conditions, which is pretty nice. We haven't seen that for a while. But on top of that, we are looking for a system to be rolling in middle part and late part of next week. It could be bringing in some light snowfall for us, or even some flurries. And that's what we're going to be seeing from our 10-day forecast. The temperatures will drop, but then we're roller coastering back up into some more milder conditions for Tuesday and Wednesday, then staying pretty consistent heading into next weekend. But we are looking for that system to potentially be bringing in a mix or even a chance of some flurries or even some snowfall heading into the back end of next week. It's one thing we're going to keep an eye on, McKenna, because we do need some snow.
Yes, we do. All right, thanks, Julian. Some citizens in Florida say they were duped into changing their political party affiliation from Democrat to Republican. All of the victims are older than 65 years old and live in Miami-Dade County. The Miami-Dade Elections Department records show more than 5,000 registered Democrats switched their party affiliation to Republican. Glenna Wilberg reports.
More people now coming forward saying it has happened to them. The latest in these buildings. This is senior housing, buildings full of super voters, and it's really hard to ignore the similarities and all their stories. They say they're feeling targeted, and they may well be targeted because voter information is public. A visit to Elections HQ.
The entire list of all the voters in the county.
For $20, it's a big public record. Information on every registered voter.
Voter's name, date of birth, registration date.
Party affiliation.
Party affiliation.
That's how a third-party voter registration organization, hundreds of them in the state, can target voters, like an 80-something-year-old Democrat named Maria who lives here, and other seniors, registered Democrats, who live here.
Came to my door and they asked if I was interested in voting.
Armando, Ernesto, Juan.
And then changed me to the Republican Party.
All decades-long Democrats shocked to learn that after voter registration visitors were here in November, they describe them with red Republican Party of Florida hats and IDs that they received new voter ID cards with their parties switched. We verified that in the records. Here are Juan's going back to 2010 and 16 and 19, all Democrat, until last November, Republican.
That I tell them that's illegal, that's against the law, and they say, no, you didn't right.
In the last year, records show almost 5,500 Miami-Dade Democrats show switch to Republican, just under 1,700 Republicans to Democrats.
My grandmother is a registered Democrat. The political affiliation now says Republican Party of Florida.
We are getting more reports, even tweets about surprise changes. And while the party has not responded now, last December, the director said they follow laws and regulations with no changes without permission. Those third-party voter registration organizations that assist in those forms, that's completely legal. All of them are registered with the state of Florida. And with a verified signature at the bottom of those forms by the voter, it's really going to be hard to tell who it actually was that checked off the boxes.
Make News 3 part of your weekly routine by downloading the Channel 3000 app for the latest headlines and weather conditions 24/7. But first, a look inside one famous British jazz club. Why it's so renowned. We're back in a moment.
It's January clearance time at A1 Furniture with 10 to 40% off store-wide and tax included on any purchase over $4.99. Huge selection in stock for immediate pickup or delivery, plus 1 year free financing.
Madison's locally owned family furniture store.
There's a reason big dental bills often come as a shock, because sometimes you don't realize what's not covered until you get the bill. That's why affordable dental insurance from Physicians Mutual is important. It can give you benefits that go beyond what you get from more limited coverage plans. Because no one likes a big dental bill, especially if you're retired or on a fixed income. For a free information kit, call or go online now. This isn't some discount plan or preventive-only coverage. This is real dental insurance that helps cover over 350 procedures, like cleanings, fillings, crowns, bridges, root canals, even dentures, at any dentist you want. Dental insurance from Physicians Mutual Insurance Company helps cover preventive care, basic work, and major procedures, with no deductibles and no annual maximum. For your free information kit with all the details, call now or visit sendinfokit.com.
Physicians Mutual, Physicians Mutual. And now, most admired alum.
Get up there. This is so embarrassing.
There's no way it's me. You know her. You love her. Ruh-roh.
What are you doing here?
It's Anna Gomez! Who? Our first gagillionaire. With AT&T Fiber, Anna's got the fastest internet with hyper-gig speed.
I didn't know you went to this school. We have a lot in common.
Live like a gagillionaire with AT&T Fiber. Now with speeds up to 5 gigs. Limited availability.
At no fault of their own during the bitter cold, thousands of Wisconsin residents in your community make the difficult choice between eating or heating their home. On February 10th, please join News 3 Now and support a day of warmth, benefiting the Keep Wisconsin Warm Cool Fund. 90 cents of every dollar donated is used to help those in crisis. Give the gift of warmth. For more information, visit kwwf.org/donate. A day of warmth. Sponsored by Viridian Homes.
Get the best deals on name brand mattresses only at A1 Furniture's January clearance event. Save 10 to 40% off and get tax included on any purchase over $4.99, plus 1 year free financing.
Madison's locally owned family furniture store.
What makes a teacher a teacher? A retired Madison educator seeking loan relief wants an answer to that question.
I think I should have the opportunity that all the other teachers have.
How her call for action to us is making a difference. Tonight on News 3 Now at 10. An exciting new art exhibit in the 608 is honoring Black women and the memory of a beloved Madison College advisor.
Josh Sprider will take you there.
And we're starting the new work week with the latest forecast. Let me help you get out the door Monday morning from 4:30 to 7.
Finally, this morning, New Orleans may be the birthplace of jazz, but London is giving the essential American art form new life. CBS's Ian Lee takes us to a famed British jazz club, handing instruments a second act.
It's the end of the road for Ron Eve's family heirloom. Ron's dad played this trumpet during World War II, but it's been collecting dust for decades.
Why did you want to donate it here versus selling it on eBay?
To help a child to learn an instrument would be great. Definitely, I had no compunction whatsoever about bringing it here.
He brought the instrument to Ronnie Scott's, one of the world's most iconic jazz clubs.
What kind of legends have graced this stage?
There have been so many. Anyone from Miles Davis, Dizzy Gillespie, the great Ella Fitzgerald.
Hundreds of folks delivered their worn, beat up, and sadly at times brand new and unwanted instruments during the club's latest charity drive.
Who are the kind of people bringing in instruments?
Anyone from the young or old person who bought an instrument during the lockdown and decided that they weren't going to be this big star, to people who bought instruments years ago and, you know, haven't had the chance to practice for one reason or the other.
The Instrument Amnesty is in its third year and distributes the donations to schools and charities.
Opens so many doors to you when you have access to music education, and especially if you're living in an underprivileged area.
It looks like every nook and cranny there's an instrument.
Volunteers restore them to make sure they're pitch perfect.
I looked at it and thought, there's no way you can do anything with it, but it can be fixed, apparently.
So for these people, it's kind of like the music died.
But they want the music to live on. That's the most important part.
Ian Lee, CBS News, London.
All right, here's Julian Seawright with one final check of your Sunday forecast.
Well, we're keeping an eye on the radar because we are starting to see just some light snowfall north of Dane County as we're continuing throughout the rest of our morning. We could be seeing just a little burst into the northern areas of Dane County, just north of Madison as well. But throughout planning the rest of the day, just know that temperatures will be into the middle 30s throughout the course of the day. But we are looking at varying cloud cover to stick around for us. Could be seeing a bit of some snowfall coming in late this evening. Again, that would be very brief and for isolated areas, mainly into southern areas of Wisconsin, around Dane County, and pushing into Rock and Greene County as well. Aside from that, we're going to be cold from Monday, so prepare for that. But we are back to some seasonably and those 30s as we head into the middle part of next week, with the system potentially rolling in to bring us some snow. McKenna.
All right, thanks, Julian, and thanks for joining us this morning. We've got more news for you later tonight.